Well, good morning everyone. Guess what? It's Saturday again. Boy, this week just flew by. But it was a good week. We managed to get some work done. We did an install delivery in Parks Canada, Banff National Park, for some millwork we did for the entry gate kiosks. That went well. A beautiful drive. We also had to do some work on the Jasper Parkway. That is one nice road. If you ever get a chance, that is a beautiful part of the country. In the mountains, lakes, just the scenery is unbelievable. So that was a good day. The rest of the week was also good. Had rain and sun in its good portion, and did some work in the garden. Mowed the lawns last night, at least most of them. We got a bit more to do. It started to rain and we had to stop. But yeah, a couple of projects on the go today. One of them is going to be, we're going to start working on the fencing in one of the pastures. We started that last fall, got a couple of posts in, and the PGO auger shear bolt sheared, and we had to stop. And so yesterday, unexpectedly, one of the local arborists came by with more bark chips. And we've got 2 more piles to deal with. We had just finished getting rid of the first one in the garden and elsewhere underneath the trees, and they showed up with 2 more and had indicated they're coming with more. So Mrs. From the Woods said that pile's not staying there, so Mr. From the Woods says I'll put it somewhere else. Yeah, so that's one of the things today. So the fencing, we're going to move some bark chips, and I did manage to buy a sprinkler pump for the big water tank, and they were on sale at Princess Auto, so I thought that was a pretty good deal. So we'll set that up. We won't be running the pump today because we're still checking whether the patches in the repair are holding water, and we haven't had enough water to get the water up past the patches, so going to hold off on that, although we've had lots of rain, so we don't need to bring water up to the garden. So yeah, thanks for joining us. Glad you could visit, and hope you enjoy the video. Okay, well, I thought that we would start the day with doing the sprinkler pump. Grass is still a bit wet from yesterday's rain, so we'll come into the shop here and get the sprinkler up and running, sprinkler pump up and running. So what I bought was a 1 horsepower sprinkler pump. I guess my understanding is that the housing here generates pressure, and from a static water source you can build up pressure to run sprinklers or pressure washers, or I guess whatever you want to simulate a regular tap. So what we've got here is an outlet and an inlet, and we've got some brass fittings from a plumbing store that I use regularly in Calgary to reduce it down to a 3/4 hose bib to hook it up to a regular garden hose. And Mrs. From the Woods yesterday bought a couple of attachments to make a little whip out of an old hose, which also needs repair. So we'll do that to start the day and get that up and running, and then we'll probably head outside and work on that fencing. Okay, so the parts that I purchased are the brass ones, of course. So a male hose bib connection on the top there for the outlet, and a female hose bib attachment for the inlet. So this one here will be coming from the big tank, and that one there will be going to wherever we need the water. So whether we're pumping up to the rain barrels or to the pressure washer, so that's according to the book how it's set up. And it's got a little pressure gauge there which we attached, and I believe that that opening there is where you can take that out and prime the pump with water. It's supposed to be self-priming, and I think once the water's turned on from the tank, it'll fill that the pump up and prime it itself. But if in the event you have to prime it, that's where you do it. So now we're going to take these attachments, make a little whip to run from the tank to the pump, and then we're going to steal about, I don't know, 2 to 3 feet off of that, and then repair that hose. It needs repairs anyway, so that's why we got 4 fittings. Okay, so the little whip is made, and we've just got it attached to the pump for storage. 2 new fittings on the garden hose. Yeah, the hose was starting to deteriorate right where the fittings were and leaking a little bit, so now that that's fixed. And yeah, so we can't use the pump right away, unfortunately. I'm kind of itching to do that, but we're kind of waiting for more water to drain into the tank to test whether our repairs in a previous video are holding, and we're just about there. The water level is just below where the patches are. So one more rain and we should be able to find out if the water is, or if the tank is holding water. And then we'll pump some water up to the rain barrels up at the garden. Let's get on to the next project. Okay, well, son-in-law Caleb and I were walking through the forest, and we were actually looking for something else, and we almost stepped on this young fawn. Unbelievable. We missed it. It's not moving. We're assuming the mother is somewhere around here, but that's incredible. Just beautiful. What a cute little guy. So we're in the meadow that we want to kind of keep neat and free of animals. So the idea is, from the end of the fence that runs east-west, right at the corner there, the first post left of the little gate, to that post there, to those posts there, we're going to put a gate in there. And then all the way to the west to the existing fence line. Last fall we got a couple of posts in, broke a shear pin, ground was too hard, so now we're going to try it again. And we're going to hope, although it's been cool lately, that all the frost is out of the ground. I'm sure it is. Anyway, kind of a project that's been on our mind for a little while. We bought the barbed wire already last year. Beautiful day. Let's get digging some holes. Well, ran the tape measure and had to kind of refresh myself what we did last year. But it's exactly 88 feet between the corner post and that post down there. So we'll use 11 feet for our post spacing. So I ran a tape measure and at every 11 feet made a mark with the marking paint. And we'll get the tractor started and start digging. The PTO driven 3-point hitch auger unit, generously supplied by good friend Ken Grassmeyer. Thanks for that. Hopefully I can repay you sometime. Maybe you want to come and borrow something of mine. But it couldn't have been done without it, and I think we're done drilling holes for a little while. And yeah, 12-inch auger bit. It's a bit big for fence poles, but that's what we're using. And I don't have a fence pole pounder, and I didn't want to dig them by hand, so that's what we used. Well, 7 holes drilled. Auger worked really well. Only hit a couple of rocks. They weren't too big, so the auger spit it out pretty good. The original plan was to go from this post over to that post. But when I had the utilities marked, the guy marked a gas line that runs directly underneath. I kind of knew it was in that area, but I didn't know it was right underneath. So I'm a little leery about drilling holes, getting close to that line. So I've changed my mind, and I'm going to go to that post, and we're going to add a gate so that I can get into this field here. So 3 more holes, and the east side is done. Well, had to take a little break. Thunderstorm passed through, and boy did it rain. I don't know how much. I'd have to check the rain gauge, but had to stop working at any rate. A couple of eaves troughs were plugged, so I had to unplug those in the rain. Got soaked, but now it's sunny again. Went from sun, beautiful warm morning, to cold and rain, and now back to clear sky and sun. So we're going to get back to work, but we're going to check the... Boy, the sunshine after the rain makes everything look so pretty. So all the holes on the east side of the pasture are drilled. Old Trusty the tractor. And 4 holes drilled after the rainstorm this afternoon on the south side. So all the holes are drilled. Next part of the project will be to go grab some poles off the fence pole pile, come out and set them. But Mrs. from the Woods tells me it's wine time, so we're going to wind down for the day, enjoy the out-of-doors, and boy, if there was smell-o-vision after the rainstorm, the smells of the forest and the grass and the flowers, just beautiful. Anyway, we hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you enjoy this type of content, we ask that you would subscribe and like and share, and come visit again on the next video.